All right, Godlings. Neat story time. I'm in upstate New York, Finger Lakes region, right? And last night I could see the red. It's all foggy here and cloudy often. This is like, upstate New York is like the second Seattle. It's often cloudy here, but I could still see the red, and I'm like, this is unusual. And I didn't realize because I thought Aurora Borealis was green. But I guess if it goes through the clouds, it turns red. Oh, okay, got it. I was like, this is neat, though. I don't know, it reminds me of Maximum Overdrive. Remember that movie, right? It was up in the air. But anywho, I I like to keep my mind open. A lot of people know this about myself, right? I never like to go with the official story. And for one basic, I like to keep that childlike wonder about myself. And speaking of that, it's like, a lot of people forget what it's like to be a kid. Now, if you know anything about psychology, every single human up until age 5 is technically schizophrenic. I mean, think about how kids act. They're whimsical. They don't understand. They take things literally. All that stuff, right? Like Mork and Mindy. Mork was like a kid. So what happens after age 5? We get pushed into public education, indoctrination. And so it controls how we think. And at the same time, it's implanting other things that will reject certain ideas, right? And that's where you just got to suspend disbelief. It's like, what if? Hey, there's nothing wrong with playing what if. But sometimes if you bring that up to people, they'll immediately shut it out, right? Like, here's one okay, so there's I know supposedly the electromagnetic waves from the sun is hitting the earth, and that's what we're seeing. And that's the official story, right? But now I'm curious of why it's not fucking with our communications right now. I mean, it's electromagnetic waves, and it's a lot of it right now. So why isn't it affecting our communication system? So I'm thinking, I'm looking everywhere. Who says what? I was looking at spiritual stuff, and no matter how crazy it is, but I entertain any idea and see what I can come up with. Right, keep an open mind. It was weird. Okay, after my awakening, I had this one neat thing happen, right? And I started thinking outside the box, and I'm like playing what if, right? And some things would just kind of hit me differently, and I could just think, So then I started typing it into the internet and see what I come up with, right? Now, years ago, I did this. And I thought about it. I saw a movie, and then I paired it up. It was like, oh, that looks like... and I got this idea in my head. It was like, is Madonna a vampire? She can look old and then all of a sudden she's young again. That's plastic surgery. That's what everybody would go to. I was like, okay. But, then I got thinking, I was like, wait a second, is she a vampire? So I typed it in. And there was at least one, this was years ago, but there was at least one article that I wasn't the first weirdo to think this, right? That creeped me out. And now if you type it in, there's a whole lot more of that. I'm like, weird. But yeah, think about it. Always keep an open mind, man. It's always neat just to keep an open mind, because we're not always, you got to think back to public education, right? They taught us Christopher Columbus discovered America, and that was a big freaking lie, right? So what else are they? If they lied about something as insignificant and stupid as that, what else are they lying about, right? And saying, well, why would they lie? It's like, good question. Good question. I don't know. I've been trying to reverse engineer that part. There's a lot of ideas and theories, and I'm still kind of researching all that. But there's a reason why they're lying, because they're doing something wrong. Usually that's why people lie, right? Because they're doing something wrong. They're trying to get out of it. And I know on the human level, just the basic human level with the money system, and they got their fingers in the cookie jar. So, if they're sifting off the top and stealing your money, they're not going to come out and tell you that, Come on. So, anywho, that's my cool story, theories, and ideas. See ya.